Hi, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your general reading for February 2023. This will be a general reading, so the messages will not resonate with everyone. I suggest that you check back to your Moon and Rising signs. In order to gain any insight into your own situation requires a personal reading, so I'm putting in my email address here. You can contact me at this email address if you'd like a reading. You can find the pricing packages, the number of minutes, the number of questions, and the price in the About box section of my channel at gmail.com. There we go. And already it's the 19th day of January. In effect, this month is pretty much over. So I can't believe we're already going into the second month of the new year. It's going by really fast. We just had a new moon in Capricorn. We will be having a new moon in Capricorn in a couple of days. Okay. I think I've already posted that video. We have a full moon in Leo on the 5th of December. Mars went direct yesterday. Station direct went direct. And the big one that I'm looking at is going to be Uranus direct on the 22nd of January. Uranus has been retrograde for some time in the sign of Taurus, but now he will begin to move forward in the sign of Taurus. And Taurus rules, your own personal monies, your wallet, your pocketbook. It rules your personal finances, your own personal monies, not the monies that you have or make in conjunction with someone else. That's Scorpio, the sign of the 8th house. Taurus rules our bodies, our five senses. It rules our values and our value systems. Who and what is more important than money or gold. And so it's gonna, Uranus is a change maker. He likes to disrupt things. So I would expect to see some jumps in the stock market, but it may not be jumps. It could be false. It's just going to be hard to tell. And so it's an erratic energy. And also it's happening around the time that I think that our debt limit vote is going to go up. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So I have with me today the Radiant White deck. I also have the La Vida Sibila, along with the Findisi clay. I'm not exactly sure if I'll be using one or the other or both. We shall see. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Angel Answer cards and the Golden Nostradamus to wrap the reading up. That may change depending on the story. We shall see. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around. Peggy Jean's looking real sad over there in that corner, you guys. I don't know. I'm giving her Reiki every day, so I'm hoping that's going to help. Okay. We're going to do a 9-card spread. I'm going to put one more rifle and shuffle on these. And then we will get started with the reading. Alright, cut the cards. Here we go. The Chariot. In a sense, kind of your card, ruled by Cancer, and represents the sign of Cancer and ruled by the moon. It's a 7. The 4 of Cups. The 6 of Pentacles. I feel that some of you are trying to move forward or want to move forward with something. There's been an offer presented to you, and you're not either sure about it or you are not that excited about it. But the 6 of Pentacles comes in to say that, sometimes help is going to be offered to you, and charity, when offered, should be accepted, but also should be given. We'll look at this a bit more. The Ace of Swords, that is a yes. The Page of Swords, this is news and messages coming in. The 7 of Swords. Well, that's a strong statement because across this row, it's all swords. So this is on the mental plane, okay? Thoughts, belief, perceptions, ideas, and communication. Let me get the last row down. The Ace of Cups. So now I have two aces. The Nine of Wands. And then the King of Cups. All right, so if you've been with me a while, you know that for me, the court cards can behave three different ways. They can be two different aspects of yourself. So you may be a Cancer female, but whatever is happening here, you are embodying the airy part of water, or the water part of water, in the sense that it is an outward directed energy. A court card can show up as a situation. So this person here could be someone who is involved with the law. He could be a counselor, a good friend. Could just be someone who is the most important person in your life, okay? And then it could be another person. So it could be two different aspects of yourself, a person and a situation, two different people. I'm not exactly sure how this is coming across at the moment. No matter if this is same-sex or heterosexual, if you take the female or the masculine role, this is going to apply, all right? Men can embody the energies of queens, and women can embody the energies of kings. So what do I have over the entire reading, the energy? The Eight of Wands. Something happening quite quickly, quite suddenly. I have, let's see, two court cards, two cups, three swords, a pentacle. And it starts off with one major arcana card. So the major arcanas are our spiritual lessons, and this is the Chariot. And the Chariot says that if you can keep your emotions balanced, if you can balance the negative with the positive, you can move forward in any direction that you choose to go. So in a sense, it is a card of victory. It is a card of movement. It is a card about self-mastery and control, because as you can see, the charioteer has absolutely no reins to which he is holding on to these two sphinxes to move the this chariot around. But we also know that, you know, historically chariots were like war vehicles. And it's a long, bumpy, dusty road. But you survive by keeping your wits about you and not letting your emotions, rule your head. All right. There is a reference to the moons here. As you can see, he's got the two half moons on his shoulders there with the canopy of the stars above his head. So this could be, in effect, something to do with the cosmology of the situation. But it's also a 7. And the 7s are moments of questioning oneself, perhaps self-doubt. It is a moment in which you should reflect where you have come from and where it is you would like to go. But it also says that, yes, you can go, you can move, you can do whatever it is that you choose to do. It's going to require a focus on balance. Now, past, present, future interplay of the cards. I have the two aces here, and two aces typically mean a proposal, an engagement, and or a commitment. I've seen it show up sometimes when it talks about, you know, a marriage. But if we take the romance part out of it, what is a marriage but not a contractual issue? A proposal, an engagement, and a commitment. That's how marriages typically go, how that line. So there's two things happening here. And as I stated at the beginning, the Chariot here with the 4 of Cups and the 6 of Coins. The 6 of Coins is saying, you know, that there's someone, or maybe you yourself might be in a position to help someone out, or someone from your past may come to help you out. But to me, the card also talks about, perhaps, because I've seen it show up, the energy of watching how it is that you give and receive. I've seen the card show up in romantic relationships as the player card. As you can see, one person is receiving something and the other person is receiving nothing. Okay? So it's about, as well, a balance. So I have cards of balance on both sides of this Four of Cups. Across the center, the Ace of Swords, when it shows up, it says, indeed, things are going to change. It is the most powerful ace in the deck. So this could be new ideas coming to the fore, new projects coming to the fore, new thoughts, new communications, because that's what the swords represent. The swords represent thoughts, belief, perceptions, ideas, and communication. The antiquated meaning of this, particularly with the crown on the thing, used to represent a formal proposal. And then we see this Page of Knight here, a Page of Knights, Page of Swords here. And for me, pages simply represent messages, information, news. We know that Mercury just went direct, so this could be the idea that, yes, communications are going to pick up. Mercury also rules commerce, so this could be some kind of business thing that is happening here. But then we come to the Seven of Swords, which is always, not always, but can be a tricky card to interpret. Usually the card speaks to the idea of, people perpetrating theft and fraud, doing sneaky things. If that's done, it's done in broad daylight. There's a group of people sitting back here. You see, it's daylight here. The card indicates that there may have been arguments and dissension here. And we've got to rethink, perhaps, or retrace our thoughts, or recraft our message to get it across. I've seen the card show up when it does speak to delays, postponements, hassles, as if everything is going wrong around you at the moment. I've also seen it show up when it says that this is someone trying to outsmart destiny, and by not taking responsibility for their own actions. I've seen the card show up when it talks about people spying, theft, treachery, betrayal. But I've also seen the card show up to say that if things are going wrong at the moment, it could be because you've been rushing around. You haven't been planning. It's emotional. And I have 2 sevens, which is always important when numbers repeat themselves or cards repeat themselves. Okay? So this guy can sometimes be someone who's quite nasty and difficult to deal with. Also a spy. And we come down finally to the bottom row. We have the Ace of Cups. Let me back up. I want to go back to the Ace of Swords, because the Ace of Swords can also be the excessive degree of everything. Anxiety, fears, worries. Sometimes it can even be an indication of a split, right? It is double-edged. There's a truth, but the truth may be a painful truth, okay? Coming down to the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Cups simply represents, for me, an emotional fresh start or an emotional reset. It talks about the possibility of new partners coming along, and this could be in any aspect of life. So, business, love, friendship. It speaks to the idea of perhaps finances beginning to improve. But basically, it says to me, it also is this opportunity to rid yourself, detox yourself of old emotions so that you can gain a fresh emotional perspective, which may help. But I do get the sense that there's been some kind of conflict here. And I'm not exactly sure why there's been a conflict. Because we have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is the card that says you've been through a battle. In other words, been there, done that. Now you're tired and you need a bit of rest. So like the 7, the 9s represent, again, a moment of pause and reflection to go back again over what has come before and decide what it is that you want to do. It says that if you are involved in a conflict or dispute, you still have enough energy to get back in there and fight. But as it stands now, okay, it might be just best for you to take a break, okay? It says that this card represents someone who has a strong character, all right? And then it ends with this King of Cups. a water sign, could be a Cancer, a Scorpio, and or a Pisces, could be a lawyer, a paralegal, a counselor of some kind, a good friend, you know, a romantic interest, if not a spouse. And this is what I feel. I feel that this is actual masculine energy. So we're talking about one person, okay? It's not just you, one person. Now, the Eight of Wands is known as Mercury in Sagittarius, okay? That's the energy it presents. And what we see in the card is simply these wands flying through the air. There is no destination to where they're going to land. We don't know where they're coming from. So typically this card will say that there's going to be a rush of energy and things will start to happen quite quickly, okay? It also typically speaks about travel in conjunction with work or career, in which case it would be travel by air. I've also seen it called the arrows of love. In other words, there's going to be a message that comes in that could contain the promise of love and excitement, all right? But it is an 8, and 8s typically come along to move a situation along if it's been stagnant. We've got these cards of slow energy here at the top. And it also says that, you know, once this energy begins, the only thing you can really do is hang on, because changes are going to be coming quite quickly and quite suddenly. Also, as an 8, it can talk about obstacles, hassles, and delays. So, yes, whatever this situation is, it may escalate or at least move fast, okay, if you've been waiting. But my question is, if I had to pick out, I'm looking at the Chariot over to the Seven of Swords. And this sentence kind of makes no sense to me. This one makes sense. Someone offering something or offering assistance or the ability to help, or, you know, perhaps an inheritance or a financial promotion, but something small, of small value, perhaps coming through this particular king, or with, what do you call it, with the association with this particular king. So it is this row that I would be looking at. Now, I'm going to turn over these two cards because traditionally they represent people and they're not going to give me any additional information. So what does that leave me? The 4 of Cups, 6 of Coins, the 2 Aces, the 7 of Swords, and the 9 of Wands as it relates to the Chariot card. Now, 2 7s can sometimes often warn of false friends. And 2 7s can sometimes be an indication of self-confidence issues causing instability within a relationship. And again, this could be any relationship. So what I want to do is to see if I can get any other information out of these cards here with the Chariot. The 4 of Cups. Nothing about the 4 of Cups. The 6 of Pentacles with the Chariot. Let's see if there's anything here additional. Well, with 3 Swords cards, the 6 of Pentacles. It is asking you to look at ways to relax, de-stress, and take your mind off of work and career. It brings a message to look to your own health and well-being. Well, that's interesting. Okay. The Ace of Swords. You know, I really like the Ace of Swords because it just tells you, when you see it, you automatically know things are about to change. It just is. And there's not a whole lot that you can do about it, because it talks about new beginnings. It is a 1 card. It can sometimes imply that there's a focus on a critical and potentially volatile situation or circumstance. And you may find yourself in a position of having to take action or make a decision under stressful circumstances. Therefore, it is important that you keep your emotions balanced in order to make the correct decision. That's what I said here. Okay? Doesn't tell me anything with this, what do you call it here? The Chariot. 7 of Swords. With other sevens of any suit. It is an indication that huge life changes are about to take place. It is a strong indication that you have reached an important point in your life and change is inevitable. It tells of starting over under new or different circumstances. New favorable conditions abound. That's kind of what I was talking about here. But this card also says it may be warning you that your plans may not work out at this time due to circumstances beyond your control, and that you may need to look to alternative options or means. There's a possibility of tension, arguments, disagreements, and misunderstandings, implying that someone may be spying or delving into things that are not their business. It can also imply that you may be carrying a heavy load or burden, and you are asked to delegate tasks and responsibilities to others and not take on other people's responsibilities for them, as this denies them the opportunity to learn their lessons in regards to cause and effect. That's interesting. The Ace of Cups. With swords around it indicates unsettled conditions either in the home environment and that things within the family may be strained at this time. Well, I don't know. Tells me nothing with the Chariot card. Now we go to the last card, the 9 of Wands. The timing of the 9 of Wands is from the 30th of December to January 13th. Even though I read for a month, traditionally the energies of a spread will last 2 weeks, but it also depends on where you are in the storyline. For some of you, this could have been a holdover from December, maybe November. For some of you, it's just starting now. For the rest of you, it may come up throughout the month of February and even into March. So the 9 of Wands indicates that there could be a suspension of events. But if this is the case, you have the advantage at the present time. It also suggests that there have been conflicts previously and you are forewarned that there may be more to come ahead of you. Well, still doesn't tell me anything that I need to know. Let's just see on the off chance if the 8 has any. It does not. Well, then what we shall do we shall take a look. Why is it that someone feels not excited about this offer, or complacent is not the right word, feels that things are okay the way they are? Maybe this is the idea that you don't trust whatever the offer is. But the card also says, don't dismiss offers out of hand. Even though you may have no clue what to do with the offer or how it's going to fit into your plans, it could very well be the best thing that ever happened to you. Of course, with Mercury going direct, if this is the signing of any contract, you do want to find somebody to help you look over it, a second set of eyes. You don't want to miss the fine print. Even though Mercury has gone direct, it's going to take them another 2 weeks to really get up to speed. Okay? The Vedevo. Oh, the Dileranti. Wow. And the Casa. Indeed, there are unsettled conditions at home. Things are not right. There is this idea of plurality. We have the 2 court cards. We have 3 figures here. We have 3 figures there. We've got this group of people way in the background here. And also in the background way back there. And this is the home. Okay, so I don't know if this is an indication that maybe someone may be away from home, okay, and there's stuff happening around the house. I'm going to delve more into this in a moment. I think if I had to pull cards, it would be across the entire present row, here across the center. The Pensiero, meditation and thought. The Disgrazia, well, and the Conversazione. Well. Quite the interesting cards here. So the Vedovo, I just kind of want to give you a few keywords that can speak to the Vedovo. And I think what I find interesting is that the Disgrazia is akin to the Seven of Swords. Okay? So, keywords for the Vedovo: solitude and regrets. It refers to distance, loss, introspection, a lack of support, loneliness, tears, and poverty. Okay? Here, with the Deliranti, the delusional people, what the card is really talking about is it's a 9 of coins. The lunatics. The keywords here: adversity and agitation, madness, contradictions, lack of control, arguments, obstacles, stonewalling, and delays. Okay. The blind leading the blind, so to speak. Shall they both not fall into the ditch? That's an old parable from Luke. It indicates hallucinations, contradictions, illusions of grandeur, and self-exaltation. Generally, the card represents setbacks, delays, accidents, recklessness, disorganization, opposition, mutually exclusive beliefs, precarious conditions, and transitory states. It heralds complications of all kinds and the worsening of the situation inquired about, as well as arguments and confusion. It can herald problems and troubles on all fronts, grave arguments and falling outs with clients, partners, and family members. It also warns of foolish decisions and dangerous situations caused by someone's lack of control. Now, I find that to be interesting because the first card out of the deck talks about the ability to master, to have self-mastery and control. The Casa represents that. It usually speaks to your home or where you live, but it can also represent property. So this is land holdings, condos, apartments, those types of things. But it also is a metaphor for stability. Okay, a place where we can go and be away from the world. So it's our sanctuary. All right. But here we come to the Disgrazia, which is like another, as I say, 7 of Swords. So I don't know if this is telling me that at present there are arguments and things happening, and trying, I guess I would suppose, to work the situation out through conversation. Okay, this is a Tower card, but it is not the same Tower card, nor has the same meaning as the actual Tower card here. Okay, sometimes its meaning can be out of the blue, but if you look at the imagery, the house is on fire. So this card can be sometimes even about violence. Okay, everything's burning and there's no one there to throw water on it or put it out. So it's can sometimes say it heralds the arrival of a traumatic event for which you are apparently blameless. caused by outside events and people. So we heard that again. It's events may not be happening that are out of your control. So just because things are out of your control doesn't mean you can't control yourself, right? The card can sometimes, it's the philosophical approach to right and wrong. What it wants to convey is that usually, but not always, you don't deserve what has happened to you or what has happened, okay? More often than not, it implies that you have failed to learn from past mistakes, or that a mistake from the past will come to exact payment in the present. You will feel a hapless victim of circumstance and completely powerless. It indicates a drastic and radical change for the worse. Something will never return to the way it used to be. Okay? It represents destruction. It also indicates really grave mistakes that will be paid for dearly. So that's, I want to see if there's anything else. No, and then we see, because this is a neutral card, so this talks about the idea of stopping for a moment and contemplating, or it could be the excessive degree of worry about what is happening or will happen. Conversation. That is simply a card that implies that there will be an opportunity perhaps of sitting around rules, conversations, interviews, oral examinations, invites to social events, those that imply to be gathered around a table, lunch or dinner, meetings with a purposeful and productive aim. Okay? Sometimes it can refer to family or an extended group of people who spend a lot of time together. All right? And so that is what the cards have to say. I don't have a indication of how this will go or what it will, how it will turn out. But definitely it speaks to changing conditions, something happening, I think, based upon the actions of other people. And you are asked to, indeed, the first thing I said to you was been there, done that. So it appears to me that this is something that may perhaps be coming back around, but coming quite quickly, maybe culminating. Formulate your question for the angel answers. Oh, well, there it is. The card says success. And success is how you define it. It's not based upon anybody else's concept. At least you should not allow it to be. Okay? And there are such things as little successes every day. Number 30, the anchor. Wow. All may not be lost. Again, this can't be true for every Cancer that I'm reading for, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It does require a personal reading. Congratulations, you are on the road to success. You needn't have any reservations about your situation, as it will work out beautifully. Part of living a successful life is taking care of yourself. It is wonderful to have many things to be grateful for, but make sure you don't wear yourself down by working too hard. Take time to enjoy peace in your life. That's very simple advice, but sometimes we forget those things. Now here we have the anchor. And the anchor says, don't dream of pie in the sky. You can only fall when flying high. Continue along your path and do not veer off the beaten track. Change will not be favorable at this time and you are not ready. You should decide to be cautious and balanced. So it's kind of saying two things, and to me they're kind of, the sequence is out of order. It's saying that there is going to be some trouble or difficulty or disagreements. But maintain your balance and your focus. Don't be distracted by whatever this is, right? Be cautious and maybe wait until the time is more auspicious. Okay, and so that is what I have for you, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising for February 2023. I hope this helps. Until next time, be well, stay safe. Bye.